Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Aitken, and on this show each week we try and identify a particular ingredient of a race that we might look back on later as having been the crucial element and decided the result. Now the first race we're going to have a look at Sha Tin on Sunday is race 6, and our winning factor here, the start. Looking down the field, a few names jump out at us as good chances. First of all, we've got the Creator from the John Moore stable, Wattle Legend and Tornado Twist, who made good racecourse debuts, and Alpha Hedge, a last start second over the same course and distance last month. Now 3 of those horses are trained by our trainers in the top 5 conversion rates. Now conversion rates are something that we brought up earlier in the season as a factor in races, and this is a way that we look at trainers whose horses have just run 2nd, 3rd or 4th. In other words, they're in form or coming into form and they're ready to win a race and just looking for the right circumstances, and our conversion rates have a look at how those trainers perform with those horses next time out. Now this season we have Jimmy Ting entering the fray in his first season, and his conversion rate's been very good, albeit off a very small sample so far. But others who are leaders over a much longer period, John Size, Frankie Law last season and this, and also Danny Shum and Francis Loy. And 3 of those trainers are engaged here with 3 of the main chances. So we have runners here from 3 of our top conversion rate trainers, and I think the thing that will separate them here is the start. Now if we have a look back at the videos of, first of all, Wattle Legend from the Jimmy Ting stable, have a look at him from gate 5 here, blows the start completely before he runs on into a very solid second at his racecourse debut, and this is something we've seen him do in his trials overseas and in Hong Kong even before he went to the races. Next up we've got Tornado Twist, and his debut at Happy Valley, he missed away from an outside gate before running on strongly at the finish into a placing, and he's done that before, and he's also done it again since in a barrier trial since his debut. The third of our horses of interest here, Alpha Hedge from the Francis Loy stable, on the other hand has been a safe beginner. He gets away quickly in his last run when he was runner-up over this course and distance at Sha Tin. He doesn't have a great deal of early pace, but he is a safe beginner, and that enabled him to take up a midfield position. He went to the front and was just run down late in the piece by Charizard. So the 3 of these look to have winning claims. They're ready to go, close to a win, and the thing that might separate them is the jump, and if we look at the map, that's going to be crucial as ever. Alpha Hedge, he doesn't have a great deal of early speed, but he should lob in a place maybe in the first 6 or 7 horses, while Wattle Legend and Tornado Twist are probably going to get a long way back and give him a start. So the tip in race 6, Alpha Hedge. His winning factor, the jump. His trainer rates highly on the conversion rate, but I think the fact that his manners are better than his 2 main rivals is going to take him a long way. He'll have a good head start on them in the race. The second race we want to have a look at on Sunday is the Class 2 down the straight. That's race 9. And our winning factor here is the pressure. Now this is quite a handy field of short course sprinters, and quite a number of them have already won races down the straight. And the horse which will catch everyone's eye here is the 3-year-old Styling City from the John Moore stable. Now Styling City is a horse who's very easy to like. He's won 4 from 6, all of them down the straight, and he looks for the makings of a very nice horse later on, possibly even when he gets up to something like 1400 metres, where his tactical speed is going to be of great use to him. But he is a 3-year-old and he's stepping into Class 2 for the first time on Sunday. Now here's a list of horses which have made that jump, Southern Hemisphere 3-year-olds going into Class 2 for the first time over the past 5 years. Now I've only included horses which were in the market at $10 or less here, and they've got a pretty decent record, 11 wins from 31, but a lot of them have started at very short odds, and so they haven't necessarily been much of a gamble for the punter. It's a difficult thing when they get to Class 2, the 3-year-olds, all of a sudden they're racing tough older horses who can all gallop. Now, John Moore's had more success than most at graduating these 3-year-olds from the Southern Hemisphere into Class 2. But I do think that Styling City is vulnerable, and not only on the score of his age and experience, because if we look at his last start win down the straight, the key to his 2 recent victories there has been his ability to control the speed. As you can see on the heat map here, fairly soft mid-race section here, and Styling City with Douglas White in the saddle, able to control things and dictate when the pace went on again, and he sprints home too hard over the final stages, over the final 400 metres. Now that's okay in Class 3, but the difficulty, the hurdle involved in going to Class 2 is that so many horses can keep up comfortably with the horse who is graduating up in class here. And I think that's going to be an issue here for Styling City. If we have a look at the map here, there are quite a lot of horses who could participate for the front running. Several like Moment of Power, who are habitual front runners, and a number of others who can get involved if they so desire. So I don't think that Styling City is going to get the control this time over the race that he's had in Class 3. So if Styling City, our likely favourite, is vulnerable here, where do we go for the winner? Well, it was around the middle of last season that we were looking at a 3-year-old then as appearing very promising himself. His name was Lean Perfection, and when he cleared out in Class 3, people were tipping him for the top. He runs away to win by a big margin indeed. Now, he had a health issue shortly after winning his first 3 starts, and that impacted on his subsequent 2 runs of the season. But he's returned this time around, looking pretty good again, and although defeated in both runs this season, they've been better than they look, and we're going to take a look at those now. First up on the dirt in race 144, he was always caught off the track here, Lean Perfection, in the red and white colours, and he has a very tough run and every excuse to drop out of the fight, but as you'll see down the straight, he keeps coming and is a very respectable finish when they get to the line. In race 208, he went forward this time in a race where the pace was very fast early and it was on a significantly wet track. The leaders knocked up in the closing stages. The winner world record came from a very long way back and beat Super Rich, who also came from the back half of the field. The leaders had no advantages there, and that's not even considering the wet track, which may or may not have suited Lean Perfection. On Sunday, Lean Perfection is back on top of the ground, and I think coming back to 1,000 metres, where he is unbeaten. He won his debut race down the straight. He'll get a chance to sit behind the pace here, relax, and then finish over the top of them in the final stages. So the tip, race 9, is Lean Perfection. His winning factor, the pressure. I think that Styling City, the obvious favourite, has an issue here. He may overcome it, but he certainly has a hurdle to jump with the early pressure in a fast run race. And Lean Perfection, a horse who's going all right despite his form figures, can get over the top of them in the final stages of this race. Well, that's it for the winning factor this week. Good luck on Sunday. We'll see you next time.